In May, the first task was to create a playable demo. The features of this build were as follows: fish with intelligent AI that will try and eat the player, unless you hide, and enemies that can be picked up. These also shock approaching fish. Sea urchins that will follow the player if they are wearing a sea urchin shell. These eat kelp, which the fish live in, so the first puzzle was to get the sea urchins to eat kelp so the fish would swim away. The player is then rewarded with the appearance of a lobster, which eats the urchins. These mechanics were fueled by research. We looked into hermit crabs, ecology and species interaction, but also setting, thinking about the underwater house our game will be set in. We have a plan in place for a story about climate change in the UK and the way marine species have adapted. This research is all presented on our Patreon, which we are regularly updating with ecological devlogs for our community. Currently, these updates are free, but members can become a sea potato to support us. In July, we did our first playtest. This featured a new build, where you encounter our antagonist, an octopus who competes with you for shells. We also introduced some new ideas, such as shell-producing snails and a starfish predator, as well as that lobster again, this time forming a bridge to the end. We ticked a few tasks off from our August list here in advance, such as a save system and a toon shader, taking inspiration from botanical illustrations. However, we also learnt some important lessons. This game was challenging, and the player was under constant threat, repeatedly punished. It played more like Dark Souls than a cozy adventure. Most playtesters gave up before experiencing all the content. It's easy to fill space with threat, but there are other, more thoughtful kinds of sensation available, such as wonder, ease of movement, and connection. Our third iteration, for the midway playtest, improves our floating mechanic and features water currents. We added sound and post-processing, even a title. However, we have removed the lobster and some other creatures for now to resist overscoping. This will allow us to spend the last 2 months of Tranzfuser perfecting feel and visuals.